Record. Now we're ready. Sitting in Virasana. The legs and our feet represents our first chakra. And chakras are very interesting. This is our energy centers in our body. And the first chakra is very much like Maslow's needs hierarchy. It is our sense of self. It's our right to be, sense of safety and security. And when everything seems a little out of sorts, it can be really challenging for us to ground into our own experience. We become attached to other people's experiences. So when we bring the focus here, it helps us staying calm within the eye of the storm. So as you sit, enough height where your kneecaps are not threatening to pop off. And some days Virasana is just not available, and that's perfectly fine. In Virasana, the thigh bones are parallel to one another, so not consolidated. And the heels are just outside the hips, and I am elevated so much, so they really disappeared under there. But I'm not sitting on my heels. I'm not sitting on my heels. Sally, you're doing good effort there. Is it working? Are you pondering it? And sometimes and then you just say, okay, I gave it my best try, and I'm going to switch into Sukhasana. That is always available. So we alter between these two poses in the practice. So cross-legged, if that's a better pose today, you could go ahead and go there. No judgment, no expectations, and no competition in our practice. If you find you've gotten comfortable in Virasana, now take your thumbs and then find your toes and give each toe a little reminder to relax onto the mat. So each toenail, at least in theory, are now laying down. Give a little stroke along your the bottom of your feet, your insteps, to help release here too. We wear shoes, we stand up, so our ankles are held in a flexed position. And in Virasana, we stretch it out. And that may be a little bit of an unfamiliar place for your ankles to be in. So that just means more height, more height. Let's rest our hands on the thighs and do a little scan around. Is the body comfortable? Can you let all your feathers soften down? And breathe in and out. In and out. So let the breath too come to a state of ease. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. In and out. In and out. Breathing in, I calm myself. And breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I calm myself. And breathing out, I release. As the breath begins to settle, the mind begins to settle as well. And to receive the full benefit of the yoga practice, give yourself time to settle in and prepare for the practice and not just dart in, chew it up, and dart out again. Speed, as T.S. likes to say, it gets trapped in our bodies. Frenzy, anxiety, it's a form of speed, gets trapped in our bodies. We want to counter that in today's practice by grounding and releasing. If your eyes are closed on your next inhalation, let them open up. And we'll interlace the fingers. Let's interlace with the awkward thumb on top. Nothing personal about that thumb, but the interlace that you wouldn't choose automatically. Let's extend up and let the chin soften down towards the chest. And let's stretch to the left. Breathing in to your right lung. And inhaling up. Exhale to the right. And then breathe into the left lung. And we inhale up. Exhale, let's twist to the left first. We inhale up and twist to the right. Drawing back up. Take the hands down and we'll take the legs out in front. And you might like to stay up on your block, your blankets, as we will be visiting with Dandasana, seated staff pose. So with the hands besides the hips, sits bones right on the top of the sits bones, not rounding the back. And that may mean, thank you, Will. Thank you, John, bending up your knees a little bit so that your sacrum mutates in rather than just dropping out back there. Let's lengthen up through the crown of the head, lengthen up through the crown of the head. And then catch your knees, fold them in for Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. In Yoga Hatha Pradipika, it's called Bhadrasana. And it is a pose that will release fatigue and tiredness of body and mind. As you draw the heels and lengthen up through the front spine. So we have some leverage. And then lengthening out through your inner knees. And as you do so, let the bottom of your feet begin to turn up towards the sky. As if you're reading your book. I hope it's a good book. We'll bring the soles of the feet back together and bring the knees together. Take the legs out in front. So we'll spend a little bit more time with the pages in the book. So take your right leg in and let's give it a little bit of help here. A little hip lubrication. And just rocking the baby. Sometimes people call it this. And I'll place the foot on the thigh. Thread your left hand in between your right toes. Web fingers, not hand, fingers. Web to web. So we do this every month, the first week of the month. I hope you do it more than once a month. And we'll start with ankle circles. Clockwise and counterclockwise. And then holding on to the ankle, but bring the foot from side to side. So you are inverting and everting of the ankle and the foot. So we have some sideway mobility, not a lot, but we don't want to lose what is here. Now let's squeeze the toes around the fingers, fingers around the toes, squeeze, 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 squeeze with all your might. But relax your gums if you found that they joined in the party. Mine always does. Relax the toes. Pull the toes long. So you're tractioning, spread the fingers and release. And then this little piggy, each toe gets a tuck and a roll. Tuck and a roll. This whole sequence is on my YouTube channel. I will put it up on my website. I'll probably send the link out next week too, just as a little reminder. So now, let's put the foot in a vise. So hold your hand on either side of, or each side of the foot, compress and roll. Compressing and rolling. And then we'll go for a little walk with the thumbs. Walk up and down the bottom of your feet. Up and down the bottom of your feet, of your foot. And then last, grab onto the heel. So I'm going to hold the front of my foot steady. And I'm just going to wiggle my heel around a bit. So we have a really thick fascia pad under our heel, which is nice to have because a lot of weight hits down right over this area. But this can get stuck. All right, let's take the foot out front. You look at your feet. One may have a little different color than the other. Do a little wiggle test. And also, I just love this one. Just do a little forward fold and notice, is there more ease on one side of your body right now? Just from tending to your foot. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I'm going to vote that we do the other side. So let's start with getting the hips lubricated up just a wee bit more. And then I think we are ready to go to work. Let's thread the fingers in between the toes. Oh. And this foot for me is tighter than my left foot. So that's information to ponder. Why is there more tightness here? So it needs a little bit more attention. So I maintain the flexibility. And we start again, ankle circles. We need all of these joints to maintain their flexibility. Let's go in the other direction. Each foot, you heard me say it, 26 bones in each foot. It's creating a trampoline so that there's buoyancy. And now let's ring the foot from side to side. It might help to hold the ankle still so that we are twisting, maintaining this ability too in the trampoline. And then let's do the squeeze, 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 toes and fingers. Relax the toes. And then traction out, traction, traction, traction. Bring space into the joint. There are hammer toes, and there are claw toes, and there are bunion feet, all kinds of things that happens to our feet. Spread the fingers and release. And all of those things affects our gait. And if it's happening at the bottom, it's happening at the top. So sometimes our knee things, our hip things, our back things, shoulder things, neck things are really feet things. So that's why we need to tend to all of it. All right, put your foot in the vise, squeeze and roll. Squeeze and roll. Getting all of these metatarsals. I think those are metatarsals in the foot, metacarpals in the hands. I can't quite get that straight. One of these days. At any rate, let's go for a walk. Thumbs to the bottom. Take a little walk. Up and down. So you're giving yourself a little quick reflexology session. I know very little about that, so I won't say anymore. Catch the heel, hold the front of the foot steady, and we can again also give this our little wiggle. Wiggle about. And let's see. Do a little, again, forward fold. And I think we are ready to rock and roll. We're going to come onto the back body. As you come onto the back, maybe support the head with a blanket. It just helps keep the back of the neck long. With many of us working at home and our ergonomics at our desks may be a little different, or maybe we just spend more time here. Let's take the arms up overhead. And then exhale, we're going to hug the knees in. And inhale, arms overhead. My knees are just bent right now. I'm not even going to take them out. I'm just going to keep them bent. Because the psoas doesn't always like to be told what to do in a very quick way. So just take it easy. The next time you draw the knees in, we're going to rock from side to side. And then draw circles with the knees, circling with the knees. Clockwise, counterclockwise. And let's place the left leg down. Take your hands behind the right leg. Hands behind the right leg. Bend the knee, flex the ankle, straighten the leg, point the toes. We're just going to go back and forth. And do it kind of jiffy. So this is nerve flossing of your legs. So if the nerves get stuck inside the nerve sheath, then our mobility will be greatly challenged. Well, I think that was enough on one side. We'll do it on the other. Flex, knee and ankle, straight, both. Just go back and forth. Flexibility and stability, the two things that we are always looking to get that perfect balance of. Let's take the right ankle across the left knee. Right ankle across the left knee. Now take your hands to your lower pelvis points. So you're not sure where they are, find your belly button, go down about 1/2 inch and then trace your fingers out and you'll find some bony protrusion, your anterior pelvic crest. And this is just to make sure that you are moving your thigh bone and not your pelvis. Draw the knee away from your right shoulder and let it come up again. Just draw back and forth, keeping your pelvis quiet, still, not moving. So this is a pure hip movement. Pure hip movement. The spine is not involved. Not one bit. Now keeping the knee away, as far as way down, away from the shoulder, and then draw your left knee in and placing it back down. Pull the knee in and down, back and forth. So my left leg is bent. I'm not straightening it up. So it's not a big movement. I'm just pulling the left knee to the chest and releasing it down to the floor. So that way I get a little bit more something going on in my right hip, the piriformis and gluteus medius. Those are your external rotators. Now, taking the foot down. If you have anything under your head, I recommend you move it now as we're going to do the one-legged bridge pose, Eka Pada. Take the hands down alongside the hips. And then as you inhale, lift the hip. So now your left hip really has to show up. Lower down, inhale, contract the left glute, lifting up. And lowering down. Do that one more time. Lifting up. lowering down. We're going to switch to the other side. So we started just with external rotation, drawing your knee, your left knee now away from your left shoulder. Again, you can place your hands on your hips, and this will just tell you, are you over moving and you're really shifting in your hips? Are you giving yourself a little case of lumbar scoliosis on the way there? So let it be pure hip rotation. Keep your left ankle flexed. That helps protect the knee. So flexing the left ankle as you pull the knee away and up. Now let's hold the knee as far down as is available. Draw the right knee in and down. Right knee in and down. So often we hold the thigh here and it's a passive stretch. In this way, it is more about strengthening these muscles while we get a little bit more flexibility on the side. I think we got it. Placing your right foot on the mat. Again, have it a little bit more center on the mat rather than out to the side, since it's the lone wolf in the pack. As you inhale, contract your right glute, lift the hip, and then slowly lower down. Lifting again. And lowering down. One more time. Lift. Lowering down. And release the left leg. Take the legs out long. Take the arms overhead, full body stretch. Legs are consolidated. Big toe mounts pressing out, pinky toe mounts, toes are spreading. Tailbone draws to the heels. Arms over, and take the arms, take the left arm down and roll onto your belly. So you're just gonna roll right over your right or your left. You may wanna go the other direction. At any rate, we are on the belly. So your gluteus maximus, as you just played with them, are your main hip extender, along with the hamstrings. So the gluteus maximus are very interesting. Now place your head, and you may want to use a blanket for your forehead. You can use a block, or you can just have your forehead resting right on the mat, but that might smush your nose. Take your hands back onto your glutes, so you're right on your buns. And then as you inhale, lift the right leg up and lower down. Did it fire? Something happened under your hand? Inhale, lift the left leg up and lower down. Now moving from side to side, initiate, contract the glute. Lower down. Release the glute. Switch to the other side. Pay attention to, do they activate equally? And also, when you're lifting one leg, does the other glute want to play along too? So only one at a time. So often we have some imbalance in our glute execution, which often leads to low back thingies. And I shared this before. I think the name is awesome. It is called the lazy butt syndrome. If the glutes are not firing, the back is lacking stability. So retrain what is not jumping on board, and then tell what needs not jump on board to not jump on board, so that only one engages at a time. I think we've had our fun with this. So now take the hands under the shoulders. Legs together. Consolidate it, roll the shoulders up and down the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift the legs, lift the heart, lift the head. Exhale, lowering down. Everything relaxes. And then we'll repeat. Shoulders down together. Inhale, lift the legs, squeeze the buns, lift the legs, lift the heart, lift the head. Let the legs come down. Inhale, lift up into cobra pose. So we come up a little bit taller. And exhale, lowering down, vertebra by vertebra. Everything relaxes. And we repeat one more time. Draw the shoulder blades together and down. Inhale, lift the legs, heart and head. So you're not going to go very high at first, but as we take the legs down, now cobra is available. And then exhale. Let's draw back to puppy pose. Tuck the toes under. Stretch back. And from here, couple of tall cobras coming forward. Flip the feet into our half up dog. And then exhale, back to puppy. Inhaling, forward again. And exhale, back. One more time, coming forward. And we stretch back, puppy. Now walk the hands back towards the knees and then come to sit up on your heels. Come to sit up on your heels. Now you may keep your hands further forward if it feels like your toes are going to break off. I don't want that on my watch. So we're just looking for the toe off right here. Literally the ability to bend the toes up, bending the toes up. So you can be in tabletop for this. And we're going to walk the hands forward. Now let's draw back to downward facing dog. In a downward facing dog, pull the hips back. Broaden your shoulder blades, but then hug them onto the back body. And then take your dog for a little play date. Maybe you're walking it, maybe you're circling, running with it, swaying from side to side. What's the dog like today? Is it tired? Does it want to play? Bend the knees deeply. So we're back in the toe off again. Pull the hips back, pull the hips back. Pull the hips back. Lift the hips high as you pull the hips back. And we slowly straighten the legs. We are in downward facing dog again. Pulling back. Head just hangs. Completely relaxed. Completely relaxed. And then let's take the knees down. Release the tops of the feet onto the mat. And again, sitting back. As you come to sit on your heels, take care that your sits bones and your heels are like little magnets so that your feet are not splaying out to the side. But again, you're coming right down. Right down. And again, keeping the hands forward. Good choice, Sally. So that the knees, we have the flexion that's available, and that's that. Perfectly fine. From here, let's take the hands forward again. Tuck the toes once more. And then we come into the squat pose, coming into our squat. And that can be sitting on your blocks, that can be against a wall. So now walk your feet close together. Walk your feet close together. Knees and legs together, knees and legs together. And then let the heels descend, let the heels descend. And if you're using a wall, you just walk your feet out, but let the wall support you in the bending of the knees. Now keep the feet together, but let the knees spray out. This is, don't quote me on this, but I think one of the very few places in the asana practice where we don't heat the knees over the second toe advice. Now you can turn your feet out, but classically, your inner heels and big toe mounts will be touching. Walk the hands forward, but squeeze the knees in around the shoulders. Malasana, garland pose. Garland because to go to the next step, flip your hands out and then swim your arms back. Catch your heels or Achilles tendons. And then we sit into this little garland. I feel more like a chicken, but there's the pose. And let your forehead just come to rest on the mat. That's a little ways down there. From here, let's take the hands forward again. Bring the knees back together. So garland pose is a really good pose to stretch the low back. It also strengthens the ankles. Hands on the mat. Knees together now, knees together, legs together. And then begin to straighten the knees, coming into forward fold. Let's look up. Take the hands to the hips and press all the way up. Take a block. So a block or a book or a small ball or something. And you want to place it between your thighs. So above the knees. And then walk the feet in so they're about thigh width apart. So this is an interesting pose. We'll take your block down a little lower. Looking at blocks, I'm looking at legs. In this position here, see how so what I like is your shin bones to come in a little tighter together. Is that possible? He goes, nay. If it hurts, make it not hurt. Now I'll turn and see you from the side. Well, you'll see me from the side, rather, is what I'm trying to say. Now your feet are parallel. Let's lift and spread the toes. Lift and spread the toes. And just peek down there. Did they all come up? Stretch the big toes forward. And then press the big toe pad down. Press the big toe pad down. We lift the big toes back up. Stretch the pinky toes forward and press the pinky toe pads down. Going really well, I can tell. Now let's have the big toe join. So there's 3 guys in the middle are still up, still up. Lift the toes, all of them. Stretch again. And then slowly, slowly let your toes come to touch the floor, very softly. So the weight goes down through the heel. Weight goes into the heel. Inhaling, lift the heels up now. Exhale, lower the heels down. Inhale again, lift the heels. Use the block, squeeze towards center line and lower down. Inhale, let's take the arms up. Take the arms up. And then exhale, they go back down again. Easy peasy, tall them out. Let's take the arms up again. This time, lift the heels. Squeeze the block, squeeze the block. Exhale, lowering the heels, lower the arms. Again, inhale, lift the arms, lift the heels. Descend the heels and then sit into Utkatasana. Chair pose, chair pose. So keeping the belly button drawing in and up, not tucking the tail, but not letting it flare out either. And then lift the heart, lift the heart, lift the heart. And exhale, forward fold. Forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. And then walk the hands forward to plank pose. Plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. On the next out breath, walk the hands back towards the feet. Back and forward fold. Inhale, look up. Flatten the back to bend the knees. Just bend the knees. Take the hamstrings out of it. Take the arms forward. We are back in Utkatasana. Utkatasana. Squeeze the block. Squeeze the block. Inhale all the way up. Tall mountain. And exhale, hands down. That wasn't so terrible, was it? We're going to pretend the block is still there as we do it again. When we have that buoyancy in the feet, that feather-like, trampoline-like event, we get the same thing all the way up through the body. But if we are losing, if our feet are collapsing inward and not providing the buoyancy, everything just bangs together. When we walk, when we stand. That's not good. All right, take the arms up. Step the feet close together, yoni leg. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. And if it's uncomfortable to have the arms overhead, just take them out in front, but keep the heart lifted. Keep the heart high. So whichever is good for you. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, we walk forward again. Plank pose. And downward facing dog. Looking up on the in-breath as you exhale. Step the right foot up between the hands. Spin the back heel down. Walk your hands up to your front leg, to your right foot. So we're preparing for warrior two. Now first, check that your front knee aims over the second toe. Your left leg is right over the ankle and over the second toe. That's a happy place to be in for your knee. And then your back leg, check it. Yeah, knee, second toe-ish. We're ready for the pose. Let's sweep the left arm up and back. Warrior two. Keep the four corners of your foot well grounded. But at the same time, so the front knee is over the front ankle, front knee over the front ankle. And the back leg hugs onto the thigh bone and grounds the back heel. This is your anchor. But at the same time, you are still squeezing that imaginary block between your thighs. Now from here, let's take the left arm under the right, eagle arms. The proud eagle that flies high above all the mess. Breathe. Breathe. And then inhale, let's take the arms out to the sides. Straightening your right knee. And then triangle pose. Shift the pelvis back. Take your right hand to the shin so the right leg has straightened. And the left arm goes up. Turn the left arm back and take it behind your back. Take it behind the back. Inhale, lengthening through the crown of the head. And then exhale, ground into the feet. Squeeze the imaginary block. Invite the heart to lift, lift, lift. So there's a twist in triangle pose. A thoracic twist. Draw the heart up, heart up, heart up. Nice. Relax, release the back arm. Let's take it to the sky again. And then on an in-breath, powerful legs, up you come. Let's take the hands to the hips. Wide stance. So for these warrior poses, triangle poses, a leg length, a leg length. Let's spin the feet in the opposite direction. Opposite direction. And just check heel to heel. Yep. Let's bend the left knee. It is over the ankle. But my torso sits right in the middle, not leaning forward or back. Left knee exactly over the ankle, tracking over the second toe. Right thigh engaged and drawing back. Ground the back heel. Let's add the arms again. Take your left arm, that'd be the right arm, under the left. Eagle again. So twirling the arms, or give yourself a hug. Powerful legs. Releases and frees everything above. Let's draw the shoulder blades down. Spread the wings on your back. And we take the arms out. Straighten your left leg. And shift the pelvis back as you take the arm to the shin or the knee, a chair. And we're going to take the top arm behind the back again. You may find cloth back there. You may be able to catch the top of your left thigh. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And then draw the heart up, 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 up. Heart up, heart up. Breathe. Breathe. And then inhale, let's take the top arm back up. Powerful legs all the way up. Take the hands to the hips. Wide stance, so Prasarita, Padottanasana. But before we get there, we're just going to get rid of a little bit of with Simhasana. So bend the knees, draw your elbows back a wee bit, Simhasana, lion's pose. So we roar. The lion is the Danish seal, or the eagle, of course, is the American seal. So I love the symbolism of these poses that, and animals that protect, guard. Simhasana, we take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, roar, stick the tongue way out, cross your eyes and look up. Let's do it together. Take a breath in. Then, don't you feel better? We should do it again. So the knees are soft, so you're sitting in that very fat horse. Again, take a breath in. One more time. And now, lift the heart. And exhale, pivot forward. Take the hands under the shoulders. Knees are still bent. Knees are still bent. Walk the hands forward. Draw the hips back, wide-legged downward facing dog. And if it's available, without rounding your back, allow the legs to straighten. Keep the four corners of your feet well grounded. Let's walk the hands to the right. Keep your hips exactly where they are. Draw your left hip back. Draw the left hip back. And then we're going to walk the hands to the left. Lengthen the left side body, the right side body, sorry. Now you're going to draw your right hip back. And then we come back to center. And here, walk your hands towards the foot towards the front of your mat. We're going to travel down or back through downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And take the knees down, take the knees wide. Rest the tops of the feet on the mat. And then walk the seat back onto the heels. They don't have to come all the way down. Come into a little bit of a back bend. And then walk, lower the belly, the heart, and the head last. A wide-legged hero's pose. Let the breath draw into your back body. The forehead may be resting on the mat. And then from here, without a whole lot of fuss, you're going to find your way onto your back body. Coming onto your back. Let's hug the knees in. Cross the right leg over the left. Take the arms out to the sides. Take the arms out to the sides. And then release the knees down to the right side. So you might like to put a blanket to the side. So take a moment to wiggle about a bit to find that perfect place for this passive twist where you can rest into it. Take your left arm up a little bit higher. And then with each exhalation, continue to relax your left ribs towards the floor. With each out breath, the ribs relaxes to the floor. One more breath. And then inhale, coming all the way up. Draw the knees in. Catch your ankles, your shins, or the bottom of your feet. The bottom of your feet. So you still have the right leg across the left. Don't go swapping on me here. And as you draw your knees maybe a little tighter in, so you just hold whatever is available to hold. It can also be holding the knees in. But fluff your tail feathers with your breath. And then on the exhalation, we'll switch. Let's take the left knee across the right. Take the arms out to the sides again. If it's more comfortable, you can have your feet down and twist from here. The knees do not have to be lifted up. So find that twist where you are happy, happy, happy. So as you now take the knees down to the left, slide your right arm up a little bit higher. And breathe. Letting your right ribs relax down towards the floor. And then on the inhalation, we draw up. And we take the knees in again. Let's catch knees, shins, or the bottom of the feet again. And breathe. Gomukhasana legs or eagle legs, depending on how we look at it. But a really good piriformis stretch. So fluffing again your tail feathers. And then slowly let's release this. We're going to hug the knees in. Take the legs and the arms to the sky and shake it all out. Shake it all out. That's just fun to say. And now we hug again. This time, pull the forehead towards the knees, chin to the chest. You become this. Take. And then inhale. Shavasana. Take the legs out, maybe a blanket under your knees. And for your neck, it may feel really good to have just a teeny little blanket roll under the neck. This is the season of necks for sure. So a little blanket roll just to support the neck, not pressing up into the neck. And then position your body in a way that is really, really comfortable. And you draw your awareness back to your breath, where we began almost an hour ago. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. Breathing in, I calm myself. Breathing out, I feel at ease. Breathing in, I smile. And breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release. Smile, release. Allow the breath to gently begin to deepen. Wiggling fingers and toes. Bend up the knees. And then rock the knees gently from side to side. Rolling all the way over onto your right or left side. And then with the aid of your arms and hands, pressing up into a comfortable seated posture. Our yoga practice is our refuge. It is a place for calm, healing, so that we can go about doing what needs doing, whatever that may be. Bringing the palms together in Anjali Mudra, Anjali Heart. May those actions be governed by the yamas, the non-harming, truth, non-stealing, frugality, yet none greed, serving all. We'll close with Om Shanti, 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 Om. Peace in our world, in our lives, and in our hearts. Let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, 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 Om. Exhale and bow your head to your heart. To the true essence of you. love, and light. We'll draw the gaze up. Namaste.